What's up mga kuya? Welcome back to the channel, and this is what I've been trying so hard not to reveal and make an unboxing video right away when I got it. So this is the Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 Pro, and it's a mid-range masterpiece, or Poco X3 on steroids. Let me explain. First of all, thank you so much to Xiaomi for sending me this for a review, and yes, even though they sent me this review will be my own thoughts and opinion, just like with all my product reviews. So when Xiaomi first contacted me and sent me the initial specs, I thought it's like a better Poco X3. Yes, but after using it for more than a week now, it's so much more than that. So if you know or watch MKBHD, I guess most of you know him, I'm assuming. When it comes to smartphones, he has 5 pillars for a great smartphone. These 5. So that's great build quality, display, camera, performance, and battery. So if a phone checks all those boxes, then it's a great smartphone. And yes, spoiler alert, the Redmi Note 10 Pro checks all those boxes. Yeah, so just to get specs out of the way, you guys can just pause the video. But the main specs that you need to know is the Snapdragon 732G, 6.67-inch AMOLED 1080p 120Hz display on a mid-range phone. Great sounding stereo speakers, a 108 megapixel main sensor on a quad camera setup, and a 5020 mAh battery with 33 watts of fast charging. So just on those specs alone, it's an amazing value. And here's the unboxing experience. The one that I have is the Onyx Gray color and is also available in a Glacier Blue and Gradient Bronze. Available in these configurations, mine is the 6GB 128GB variant. First up is build quality. It's an A+, so you have Corning Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and back, metal frame, and almost no flex on the phone. It's IP53 certified, which is I think a first in the Redmi Note series, but take note of the number, it's 53, so more of a peace of mind when using it in the rain or in the shower, but not submerge it in water. The design is good. It looks elegant for the most part, except for that huge camera bump at the back. Not a fan of that. I wish Xiaomi would have made the phone a bit thicker so this bump wouldn't stick out more, and maybe have additional room for a bigger battery. Just saying. But other than that, the phone looks great. One thing about the design that you might not have noticed is between the display glass and metal frame, which is kind of like a rubber layer which absorbs the shock from falls in the event that you drop your phone. You have the power button that doubles as your fingerprint scanner, which is quick and accurate for the most part. Alongside are the volume rockers, which are nice and clicky. At the left side is the SIM card tray, 2 nano SIMs, and 1 micro SD card. At the top, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack, which is kind of becoming a rarity in smartphone these days. Top speaker grill, secondary noise cancelling microphone, IR blaster, very nice. At the bottom, we have the main microphone, Type-C charging port, and bottom speaker grill. Of course, at the back, we have the Redmi branding here, quad camera setup with ultra and premium printed here. Really wish they would have used a frosted glass finish for this so it wouldn't be a fingerprint magnet, but oh well. At the front, of course, the 6.67-inch AMOLED display, hole punch at the top middle for the front-facing camera, and earpiece speaker grill. So it's been a while since I've used a glass-on-glass phone, so this will slip on pretty much any surface. Maybe get it skinned or use the included soft clear TPU case, which has a frosted finish at the back, so very nice. Another nitpick for me is I wish they used the same matte finish at the top and bottom on the sides also, which are glossy. So yeah, other than my nitpicks, build quality is an A+ again. And this would be a good time to remind you guys that if you like my content, then of course leave a like. It helps me out a lot. Consider subscribing and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on my latest videos. Moving on to the display, it's a yes for me. So again, a 6.67-inch AMOLED with a 240Hz sampling rate. So this display on a phone of this price is just nuts. Actually kinda overkill. 1200 nit peak brightness, supports HDR10, covers the DCI-P3 color space. It's a gorgeous display. Colors aren't oversaturated, perfectly viewable outdoors, almost no color shift at extreme angles. Plus, being an AMOLED display, it gets comfortably dim for night use. So out of the box, it's set to 60Hz, and after setting it to 120Hz, I couldn't go back. I mean, it's just insane that I get to experience high refresh rate on a smartphone. Yeah, you can't really go back to 60Hz after this. And of course, since this is an AMOLED display, you have the option for an always-on display, and for notifications, you have the option to have your screen pulse so that your entire screen doesn't need to light up when receiving a notification, which is very nice. So display an A+ again. Next up are the cameras, which is kind of a focus point for Xiaomi, no pun intended. So you have a 108 megapixel main sensor with an f1.9 aperture, which honestly is kind of a gimmick for me. I mean, yeah, the pictures are great. They're plenty sharp with solid dynamic range, and colors are just a tad bit oversaturated. So by default, the Note 10 Pro takes 12 megapixel shots, which are the ones that you're seeing, and this is a 108 megapixel shot. I mean, yeah, it's insane that you get to take 108 megapixel shots, but unless you're actually using it for photography and just posting stuff on social media, then that 108 megapixel sensor is mainly for bragging rights. Even low light shots are quite impressive with minimal noise, but turning on night mode, then you get an overall sharper and better exposed picture. But of course, not forgetting the other sensors, we also have an 8 megapixel ultra-wide sensor with an f2.2 aperture, 5 megapixel telemacro sensor with an f2.4 aperture, in which Xiaomi basically combined the zoom and macro lens into one sensor. And last up is the 2 megapixel depth sensor with also an f2.4 aperture. Ultra-wide shots are really good, almost comparable to the default 12 megapixel shots, but performs worse in low light situations. You have a 2x button in the default photo mode, which you can max out to 10x, but that doesn't mean you should use it. And I think this is the first time that I was impressed with the macro shots on a smartphone I'm using. Lastly, the portrait shots are great with really impressive edge detection. Video quality is great also. You can record up to 4K 30fps but no stabilization, 1080p 60fps still no stabilization, 1080p 30fps with video stabilization available. And selfies taken on the 16 megapixel front-facing camera are plenty sharp, nice and detailed. Even in low-light situations, pictures hold up well but with a bit of noise creeping in. Okay, so this is the vlog test for the Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 Pro, and this is how the built-in microphone sounds like. And as you can hear, it's very nice. And this is with image stabilization turned off. And this is with image stabilization turned on. And you also get a ton of other camera modes you can use, which I think are more for the creatives. So overall, you're getting an almost flagship camera experience for a mid-range price. Second to the last is performance, which is, surprise surprise, an A+. But that's an A+ for a mid-range smartphone. This is still a mid-range chipset which offers really impressive performance, almost no hiccups or stutters when browsing through the UI, opening and closing apps, and even playing Genshin Impact. So that's like the benchmark nowadays. If your phone can handle Genshin Impact, then that's a really good phone already. So we have MIUI 12 on top of Android 11, and combined with the 120Hz refresh rate, it's just a seamless experience overall. No overheating issues, and really that's all you need to know about performance. What's also impressive are the dual stereo speakers. They're great. They get really loud and almost no distortion at max volume.
Speaker test.
And combined with the bright and vibrant AMOLED display, make for an enjoyable media consumption device from watching videos to playing games. But one thing I noticed is that the earpiece speaker grill acts with the top speaker grill. So even if you cover the top speaker grill, then it's not a problem. Which leads me to another nitpick. Xiaomi should have just put both speaker grills at the front instead of at the top and bottom, since you also have a sizable chin. Maybe in a future Redmi device, we'll see. And I guess a software feature that I really like and first time using is double tapping the fingerprint scanner for launching a specific function, which in my case takes a screenshot. Last up is battery, and that's an A+. Even with me using this in 120Hz, it's an all-day battery for my use. With that 5020 mAh battery which combines social media, watching videos, some gaming, and picture taking, an average 6 hours of screen on time with around 30% left by the end of the day. Although if you're a light user, then this is easily a 2-day battery life for you, with mainly just social media, watching videos, and ending the day with 4 to 5 hours of screen on time with over 50% left. But if you're a hardcore mobile gamer who plays all day, then expect to charge your phone way before the end of the day and average 6 hours of screen on time with just gaming. Of course, if you want to get significantly better battery life, then you have to sacrifice that smooth 120Hz to 60Hz. So, your call. But also with the 33W fast charger included in the box, you can get your Redmi Note 10 Pro from 0 to 100 in just a little over 1 hour, which is great. So yeah, this is one of those smartphones that you don't need to charge overnight and just charge it in the morning. And to summarize my review on the Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 Pro, this is a mid-range masterpiece, or Poco X3 on steroids, whichever you want to call it. Again, it checks all the 5 pillars of a great smartphone, and I can easily recommend this to anyone. It's an insane value, starting at $279 US or around 14,000 Philippine pesos for the 6GB, 64GB variant, which is honestly enough unless you really want double the storage and maybe an additional 2GB of memory. Luckily, there's also an early bird special coming up, so watch out for that. And I can confidently call this a flagship level experience for not a flagship price. But if you're not much of a camera person and not a fan of having OLED displays on your smartphone, then just go for the Poco X3. It's a better and cheaper option for you. I'll leave the links in the description if you guys want to buy these. Now, Xiaomi's more budget-oriented lineup of smartphones, the Redmi Note series, has been a great choice for a lot of people looking for real solid smartphones for not a lot of money. And recently, it's been creeping up in prices, especially with their latest Redmi Note 10 series. Now, it kinda makes sense for what these phones offer, but Xiaomi, please, hopefully the prices don't climb up more. For the Redmi Note 10 Pro, I guess, don't put unnecessary things like the 108 megapixel camera, 120Hz display. You could have just put a 48 megapixel sensor and optimized the camera software and image processing. And just a 90Hz display would have been great here. I mean, this is still a smartphone. Maybe cut down the price accordingly and just save those big number specs on your more premium smartphones. Huge fan. Yeah, don't become OnePlus. And if you guys have any questions regarding the Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 Pro, then just leave it in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Of course, the good stuff, use my Shopee, Lazada, or Banggood affiliate link if you're buying anything from them. It helps me out a lot. Like my Facebook page for posts and updates that I don't post on YouTube. And of course, watch me on my Shopee Lives where I talk about pretty much anything and help people out. As always, stay safe mga kuya. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!